Welcome back to the craziness, and today this one is going to make your blood boil. This is Brett Fairley, a man who proved through not one but two DNA tests that he is not the father of a child, and now he's sitting in jail. What? Check it out.
Probably going to jail for this.
I mean, they busted him. I want you to hear this story, and I want you to check this out, okay? Because this is crazy.
Brett Fairley, who went viral for his insane paternity fraud story recently, was just arrested and made to take down all of his videos. It's a lot, but I'll give you the quick breakdown. So Brett is a young man who ends up getting approached by an older woman named Maria who asks him to be her sperm donor. She convinces him with paperwork and everything that it's all on the up and up. He's not going to be legally responsible for this child.
First of all, that's a flag. Men should never, ever take anyone up on this unless you have a written documentation from a judge, a lawyer, or somebody, okay? So come on, man. Don't be stupid. All right, let's go.
Despite this arrangement and them only having a one-night stand to complete this arrangement, Maria ends up finding Brett's mom and grandma and tells them that she's pregnant with Brett's child and convinces them that he should be involved with the pregnancy. His mom and grandma now want to be a part of the baby's life, so they convince Brett that he should be too. So he agrees to start paying child support. But after a little over a year, having paid now $55,000 to this woman for this baby,
$55,000 for a baby, because it gets worse. I'm not saying don't pay your child support, because you need to be paying your child support. And sometimes women take this to the next level. I've heard crazy stories, but this is out of control.
he ends up taking a paternity test and finds out the baby isn't even his. Not only that, but Brett finds out that Maria likely knew who the real father was this entire time, but refused to disclose it because the real father was married to another woman at the time.
Oh!
Oops. So Brett goes to court for paternity fraud, asking for his name to be taken off the birth certificate, child support to end, and to be paid back for all the child support he did pay. In a kind of surprising victory, the courts actually do agree to end Brett's parental and child support obligations, but they don't make Maria pay him back, and I'm pretty sure his name is still on the birth certificate. The judge also assigns a mutual restraining order for the both of them, meaning that neither of them can ever talk about this case again, basically a gag order. But according to Brett, Maria broke this order almost immediately by contacting his family, telling them that he's a deadbeat who abandoned his child. So Brett decides that he too is going to defy the order and clear his name, and that's when he made a multi-part series detailing all the lies, how he got played, and also his own mistakes along the way to help educate other men. I actually remember one interview where Brett was asked what he would tell his younger self if he could, and he said that if he had ever heard a story even remotely similar to what he went through, he would have never been in that situation. So his story does have the ability to prevent this from happening. But obviously the courts don't want this story out there. Why? It just makes you wonder, especially when you consider that in other countries like France, it's actually illegal for men to perform paternity tests on their kids without the mother's permission because, in their words, it would destabilize the community. And
what kind of country is that? You see, we in America think that we're just, oh, it's horrible here, we have no rights and this and that. But this is crazy. That poor man, because I think this was a California law, that he still had to pay regardless of the proof. And this is why he's sitting in jail. But I don't want to spoil it for you. Let's keep going.
honestly, this whole concept that you have to prove paternity fraud is also crazy to me because it's like, did she say the kid was his? Did the DNA test say that it isn't? Seems to me that there was pretty clear deception involved. But we do have to learn from this, and honestly, this is why a lot of guys are very hesitant to sign anything until they get that DNA test. This is also why I think it's really important for women to stop taking DNA tests so personally and making it this big relationship-ending deal. You should want to be able to offer your man that reassurance, and you should also want that reassurance yourself. After all, hospital switch-ups do happen to women too. They can shut him up, but they can't shut us all up, and men need to hear this stuff. Men deserve to know if their kid is theirs or not without being shamed for wanting to know that.
See, this is crazy. I feel sorry for Brett because, I mean, he has gone through a lot of hell. I mean, a lot. So Brett Fairley met Maria when back in 2020, according to him, it was supposed to be casual. Later, Maria asked him to be a sperm donor. She didn't want a relationship. She just wanted a baby. I guess she was an older chick. Brett agreed like a dummy, y'all. I mean, he agreed to this. Like, are they in a bar and this situation happens and she's all of a sudden saying, hey, I need a sperm donor. So, Brett agreed under the impression that he would finally be financially or legally tied to a child. He wouldn't be. It'd be done. You know what I mean? But once that baby was born, she convinced him to sign the birth certificate. Whether it was through guilt or manipulation, who knows? He did it. He paid over $50,000 in child support and helped raise the child. But something just didn't feel right to him. He thought, this is crazy. He was like, this is crazy. Something's not right. So, Brett took like 2 paternity tests to make sure that this baby was his, because he's sure, he's forking out this money. And what y'all don't know, he had Airbnbs. He's an entrepreneur, and he was just, taking that money, using it for child support. And I think she knew this, that he had money, and that had a lot to play with. But he didn't stay quiet. He got online. He got on TikTok. He got on Instagram, and he was posting all his receipts, his DNA results, the court documents. He wanted to warn other men about this situation, but the system didn't like that. They were like, he was accusing of violating the gag order. Now he's in jail, y'all, out of speaking out, for this situation. It just nearly ruined his life. I can't imagine that. Trying to free yourself, and you can't speak socially about what's going on because the court systems are jacked up sometimes. They are. There's certain laws that are written to protect the mother, and there's certain laws that are written not to protect the father. And it's horrible, especially when it comes to a child case. And this is crazy. They put a gag order on him. Why should someone be silenced trying to protect themselves publicly from what they believe is fraud? You see, something ain't right about that. You know what I mean? Men deserve legal protection also. Brett case is extreme, but it's not, unique. There are hundreds and maybe thousands of men out there who are going through the same situation that Brett has. And whenever the victim screams paternity, they, the court system pretty much says, no, it's fraud for you to even bring this court case to justice. And they don't want to hear about it. And then it's too late. The kid's already 20-something years old. They can postpone this case forever if it didn't get the social clout that, that it's getting. And it's crazy. This guy's been trying his best to take this thing down, and he's having trouble. But I just wanted to put this out because there's more to this story. And come to find out, he's not the only one that she has done this to. People are crazy.